Hi there, my name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel Bandy's Books, and today I am here with part 2 of my road trip across the Southwest United States. This is all about little free libraries. I have a whole series of videos going on here. We have some indie bookstore shopping videos, we have a couple little free library videos, and I even have an interview video with a gentleman in Albuquerque who creates the most fantastic and whimsical little free libraries. But today we're on the second part of this road trip talking about the little free libraries. Albuquerque is phenomenal for little free libraries, okay? There are 583 little free libraries that are noted in the Albuquerque area. 583 in a very small city. Okay, that is insane. I thought San Diego was amazing for little free libraries. They have about 200, and the population of San Diego is like, I don't know, 5 times the population of Albuquerque. Don't quote me on that. I think that's like off the top of my head and I have no idea if that's accurate. But what I'm trying to say is that San Diego, if you leave South San Diego and drive all the way to the northernmost part of San Diego, depending on traffic, could take you at least an hour, if not longer. But Albuquerque, you can zip from one point to the other in like minutes. The other thing that really makes Albuquerque stand out in terms of the little free libraries is just how creative and artistic and interesting their little free libraries are. I did not find a whole lot of little free libraries that are just the standard boxes painted in one color. Not that I'm like criticizing those, because anyone that puts up a little free library, it's fantastic no matter what it looks like. But I really appreciate that Albuquerque knows how to mix up the art and the literature. It just was phenomenal seeing all of these different really cool little free libraries. So let's jump right into the video clips of all these different little free libraries. Hang on tight because there are a ton of them, and honestly it was really nice too because the quality of books in a lot of these little free libraries was really high. I found a good stack of books that I'm really excited about. So let me show you the clips, and then at the end I will show you what I hauled. So we are in the east side of Albuquerque right now. We're checking out a few of the little free libraries over here. We found this one, which is nice and mosaic on both sides of the little free library. I am going to be leaving The Accidental Adventures of the 100-Year-Old Man by Jonasson. This is another book that I was gifted in this like 15-book box that I won. So I'm going to pass that forward here. And then we have a chocolate shop to check out over here before we hit some more little free libraries in like the central Albuquerque area. All right, so we are kind of in central Albuquerque, close to the downtown area. And this is one of the little free libraries we wanted to come check out. You can see that Frida Kahlo is on the side of it, and the whole thing is like very colorful and artsy all the way around. We're gonna leave a couple books. So we're leaving The Wishing Game by Meg Shaffer. My mom had a copy of this that she wanted to pass along. And then we have Misterio in El Club de Lectura by Ellery Adams. This is a cozy mystery, and it's been recently translated into Spanish. They have on their placard here, it's in Spanish, so we figured this is a good place to drop this off. So hopefully they will enjoy both of these books. And this one's really cool. I love all the bright colors. This is a thing that I'm really enjoying about Albuquerque, is just in general all of the really colorful, well-decorated little free libraries. So we have a couple more to check out before we hit the road to Santa Fe. So we are at our next stop here in Albuquerque, and we found this really cute little free library. As you can see right here, there is the start of a painting, and the painting continues all the way around the little free library. I'll show a clip in a minute of the whole entire box. But we got to meet the lovely owner of this little free library, and she told us all about the history of it. This painting on this little free library was inspired by a mural that one of her friends, who is a local artist, did for her. The artist's name is Delia, and unfortunately Delia lost her battle to cancer a month ago. So this now is not only like a beautiful mural, but also like a memory of a really talented artist and a good friend. I thought that was really cool to get to hear a little bit about the little free library and the concept for it. And she also mentioned that this was inspired by a lot of her own community work and community projects. They had a community garden and lots of little free libraries in the area that she was originally. And then when she moved to this neighborhood, she transplanted this. This was her original little free library. So I'm happy to hear Daniela's mural will live on, in this little free library. And we're gonna leave a couple books. We're gonna leave The Diver's Game by Jessie Ball and The Husband's Secret by Lianne Moriarty. And we have a couple more to hit in the Albuquerque area, and then we're off to Santa Fe. We are up in the northern part of the Albuquerque area, and this is, I think, called Bernalillo County, and we're in the neighborhood called Corrales. This is the Skyview Acres Little Free Library. So this is like a little cul-de-sac basically, and this is in the middle of the cul-de-sac. I think it's cute, this like little tiny community park for the cul-de-sac and then a little free library. And as you can see, it's been decorated with like birds and stars. So we're gonna leave a couple books. My mom had a kid's book called Serendipity and Me by Judith Elroth. And I have CJ Box's Freefire that I got from a library sale. And so we're gonna just pop those in and then head on to the next stop. We are driving around Crawdads, checking out a couple little free libraries. And as we were searching for one of the little free libraries that we had on our list, we came across this one here, and it's pretty cool. So this one is a little free library, and this one is a little free library. And then there's like a community poster board over here where people can post notices, different things going on in the community. So I think that this is a really cool setup. I really like how each one is kind of unique and that there's this community access board. We're gonna leave Charlotte's Web because we noticed that they're a little low on kids books. And we have this Rage by Jonathan Kellerman that was a little free library donation. So we're gonna drop these two off and then go find this one that we were looking for. We're at our first little free library in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This is kind of off the beaten track. This is a neighborhood, but the roads are still dirt and everything. I think it's kind of a newer area. And this is kind of just like out in the bush. So it's pretty stocked full. We're gonna go ahead and leave The Unexpected Spy from the CIA to the FBI, My Secret Life Taking Down Some of the World's Most Notorious Terrorists by Tracey Walder. At another stop in Santa Fe, and we happen to drive past and see this little free library on the side of the road. This is so cute. I love the metal roofing on this and then the wooden posts. It looks a lot like some of the roofing that we've been seeing in the architecture around town. So I thought that was really cute and unique. And we added When Dimple Met Reishi by Sandhya and Menon. And there's some good reads in this one, so excited to find it. So we found another little free library here in Santa Fe, another one with a really cool roof too. I like that this has that like metal texture on the top, and I'm loving that all these little free libraries we're finding are having such bright colors. So we're gonna drop off Death Valley by Melissa Broder here, and then we're gonna see if we can find one or two more before we head out of town. So we just found another little free library here in Santa Fe. This one's so cute with all of the bejeweling and dazzling and everything. I love the really distressed look of it. So we're gonna be leaving Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And then we're going to be getting on the road and heading to Scottsdale, Arizona. Morning book 2, but we are on day 5 of our adventures and we are in Arizona. We're currently in Scottsdale. We're going to be heading around Scottsdale, Tempe, and Phoenix, checking out some little free libraries. So this is our first stop here in Scottsdale. This one's really cute. I like this watercolor look and then the desert scenery. We're going to be leaving Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens and Making Choices by Cynthia Martin. This is real cute with the dogs on front. And then we have a couple more to check out in this area. We're at our next little free library in Scottsdale. This is another one that is painted with desert scenery. I really like this like whole painting around the little free libraries that we're finding. It's pretty cool. So we're going to be leaving Unorthodox by Deborah Feldman, and we have one more to check out in the Scottsdale area. So this is our next little free library. This is in Paradise Valley, which is just sort of north of Scottsdale. And this one's really cute. It's got 2 little free libraries. So there's one on this side and then one on the back side over here, and it creates kind of a unique shape. This one's pretty well stocked, so we're gonna go ahead and head on to the next one. So we're at our next little free library. This is again a little bit north of Scottsdale, and this one's really cute. It's got bees and dragonflies and butterflies all around, and it says books on this side, and on the other side it's got like a little flower garden, and it says read along the top of the flowers. So we're gonna leave a couple kids books, Margaret and Harry's Curious George and the Puppies, and we have a second copy of Making Choices by Cynthia Martin. So we're gonna stick these 2 in there, and then we're headed down to Tempe to check out some little free libraries and a bookstore down there. We are at our first little free library in Tempe, Arizona. This one's cute. It's got some suns on the side, and then on the very back, which you can't see right now, it says Scatter Seeds of Kindness. So we're going to be leaving Island of Spies by Sheila Turnage. This is a middle grade book that my mom had. And we're also going to be leaving the last of our 3 Be Kind bracelets. This is from Buzzing Love, and it's just spreading a message of kindness. And since this one says, you know, seeds of kindness on the back, we thought this would be a good place to leave these last handful. We are at our next location in Tempe, and this is such a cool little free library. This might be my favorite one that I've ever seen, just because it combines two things that I really love, which is plants and books. So they have their little free library here. There's kids books, and then there's a lot of like nonfiction reading. So we left a nonfiction book called Davos Man, which is about the Davos Convention and finances and like government machinations around the world. So I think that'll fit nicely here. They also have all these free plants that they've propagated already. So I'm taking, instead of a book, I'm going to take a hybrid sunflower. So hopefully this will do well when I get home. And then they have native Sonoran seeds and free herb seeds up here, which I think is really cool. It's designed to be a exchange because there's empty packets for you to like leave your own seeds. Unfortunately, without knowing ahead of time, I don't have any seeds to bring them. So I just took a couple like individual seeds instead of like a whole packet. So this is just so cool. I really enjoy this. And it says that they actually have a whole radio station about the library, which I thought was really interesting too. So we're at our next stop here in Tempe, Arizona, and this is AZ Little Libraries on Instagram. My mom has interacted with them, and so she wanted to make sure we stopped by and left them some goodies. So she's leaving a card, some bookmarks, and some reading stickers. And then we are leaving William Kent Kruger's Lightning Strike on a Night of 1,000 Stars by Andrea Yurura Clark, Cornelia and the Audacious Escapades of the Somerset Sisters by Leslie M.M. Bloom. So hopefully they will enjoy the goodies for the little free library. And I love that this is like a half of a wine barrel. It's kind of a really cool thing. And they're also giving away propagated aloe down here. So I am loving that there are so many little free libraries in this area that seem to be giving away plants. So we are at our last stop in Tempe, Arizona, and I think we maybe saved the best one for last. This one's so cool. So not only is there a wide selection of books, there's like all sorts of goodies for the kiddos. There's bracelets, stickers, pencils, bookmarks, all these like little ladybugs and stuff like that. But on this side as well, there's also free pine cones. There's a rock garden to take for like decorative rocks. It says down here, take a rock, paint a rock. You can leave painted rocks, all sorts of stuff. And then there's over here an entire seed garden with like a ton of different seeds in it. It's not just like local plants. There's also like food plants, herbs, all sorts of stuff. There's wine corks so you can label them and pop them in with your garden. It's just really cool. They've included so much different stuff here. So what a fun little free library find. We're taking a couple seeds with us, and we're leaving Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. A nice hardback cover of it too. So we found one more stop here in Tempe on our way out, and I'm so glad we stopped by this one because there's horses. And I'm a big fan of horses. In case you don't know, I don't think I've mentioned this too much on my channel, but I worked on a ranch in high school, and I went to horseback riding camp quite a few times as a kid. So I'm like super excited about getting to see some horses. And this is really cute because it's made to look like a horse barn. There's quite a few books in there, but we're gonna go ahead and leave Two Rivers by T. Greenwood. And then I'm gonna sit here and just admire the horses for a minute before we head on to Phoenix. All right, so we're at one of two stops in Phoenix, Arizona. And this was my mom's like bucket list little free library. She's been keeping like a list of places she really wants to visit. And this is why it's so cute. So we have a saguaro cactus that's been turned into multiple little free libraries. We have some kid ones down here and some adult ones there. They have an arts and crafts and school supplies box. And then they have a plant/seed library. So I took one package of seeds from the seed library, and we're gonna go ahead and leave The Revenant by Michael Punk. And we have one more stop in Phoenix and a bookstore, and then we're headed home. We're at our second stop in Phoenix and probably our last little free library on this trip, unless we happen to cross a little free library like on the Lonely Mountain Road on the way home. This one is all mosaicked, and it's really cute and pretty. And honestly, even the best part is opening it up and seeing a bunch of cool modern books in it, because you know, a lot of the times you see the same old stuff in little free libraries across the country. So this one has a great selection. We are gonna off-haul a couple books. We have Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man by Emmanuel Acko and Finding Me by Viola Davis. So we're gonna pop those in there, and we're gonna take a book, and then we're gonna get on the road, I think. So we are in Kingman, Arizona. This is just on the border of Nevada and Arizona, which means we are almost home. This trip is at its very end, and this is our very last little free library stop. This is Charlie's Place. This is kind of deep into Kingman, but I've come here a couple times before on road trips, and so I thought I would stop by and see if we needed new books. They have since changed it. Last time I was here was a little different. This whole section right here is completely new, so it's exciting to see this expanding. Now they have a separate library for adults and a separate library for kids. So pretty cool. And that's the end of this, so we're on our way to Vegas now. All right, so I know that was a ton of little free library clips. Hopefully you found that interesting. I, again, had the best time checking out little free libraries in Albuquerque. Now let me show you all the books that I hauled from these little free libraries. And keep in mind that every time I took a book, we left at least one new book, but oftentimes we left two. In total, for this whole trip, my mom and I unhauled a total of 130 books. I brought 80, my mom brought around 50. We did not return with any of those books. So that is very exciting. I love taking books to little free libraries and sharing them with different communities. So the books that I picked up, Counting by Sevens by Holly Goldberg Sloan. So this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a while. It has a list on the back. It says 7 things to know about Willow Chance. 1, she's different, as in strange, and a genius. 2, almost everything interests her. 3, she has learned the hard way that life can be extremely unfair, etc., etc. This book sounds like it's quirky, it's kind of a coming of age. I don't know too much more than that, and I haven't heard a ton of reviews about it, but something about this book really interests me, so hopefully I'll get to it soon. And then I found We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. This is another book I have been wanting to read for a really long time. I've never read anything by Shirley Jackson, but I hear she is a fantastic horror writer. This cover is fantastic, like all the way around, and I love that it is included in like the design of the flaps. Really, really beautiful book design, and it has these nice deckled edges. I don't keep paperbacks, but this is a copy of a paperback that tempts me to want to keep it. This is about Mary Catherine Blackwood. She's 18 years old and lives with her sister Constance. I have often thought that with any luck at all, I could have been born a werewolf because the 2 middle fingers on both my hands are the same length. But I have had to be content with what I had. I dislike washing myself and dogs and noise. I like my sister Constance and Richard Plantagenet and Aminta phalloides, the death cup mushroom. Everyone else in my family is dead. And then I found Hellfire Boys, The Birth of the U.S. Chemical Warfare Service and the Race for the World's Deadliest Weapons by Theo Emery. So I have been on a quest this year to read a lot more nonfiction than I have in previous years. So previously I have read like 1 to 2 nonfiction books per month. Maybe in a good month I would read like 3, but usually there are memoirs. And there are so many topics that really interest me. There are tons of nonfiction books that I would love to read. It's just one of those ones where for whatever reason, I don't pay attention to the nonfiction genre as much as I do to the fiction. And so in an effort to read more nonfiction, which I've been doing very successfully this year, when I saw this, I was like, I gotta pick this up. This sounds fascinating. It sounds kind of depressing and frustrating, but also really, really interesting. This says, in 1950, when German forces executed the first successful gas attack of World War I, the world watched in horror as the boundaries of warfare were forever changed. Cries of barbarism rang out throughout Europe, yet Allied nations immediately jumped into the fray, kick-starting an arms race that would redefine a war already steeped in unimaginable horror. So this is a piece of history that I know very little about. I know about World War I, I know about World War II, but I don't know that much about the development of chemical warfare. And then I found Diva by Daisy Goodwin. This is a book that was also on my radar a while back because a couple people were predicting it for Book of the Month. I don't think I did, but I saw it on some prediction blogs. This is about a glittering and ruthlessly competitive world of opera. Maria Callas was known simply as La Divina, the Divine One. With her glorious voice, instinctive flair for the dramatic, and striking beauty, she was the toast of the grandest opera houses in the world. But her fame was hard-won. Raised in Nazi-occupied Greece by a mother who mercilessly exploited her golden voice, she learned early in life to protect herself from those who would use her for their own ends. This sounds fantastically interesting. I know nothing about Greece during Nazi occupation. I know very little about the world of opera. Just everything about this sounds like it's going to be a really enjoyable read. I haven't heard very many reviews of this book, but I am really looking forward to diving into it. And then I found this book. It has no cover on it, but it's a book that has been on my radar for a bit, and that is Come and Get It by Kylie Reid. So I have never read a Kylie Reid book before. I do have Such a Fun Age on my bookshelf somewhere, but I have not gotten into it. And so When this came out, this was a book that I think I predicted for Book of the Month because they had previously featured Kylie Reed. They did not end up picking this. I think Aardvark Book Club ended up picking it instead. This has gotten kind of mixed reviews. Some people seem to really like it. Some people don't love it as much. I will give it a shot and then pass it on forward. And then I found The Afterlife of Stars by Joseph Kertz. This is a historical fiction novel, and it says, as Russian tanks roll through the cobblestone streets of Budapest and shots ring out, young Robert and Attila Beck, inseparable brothers, peer from the boot of a toppled statue of Stalin at the first grisly signs of revolution. The year is 1956. That October day, Russian soldiers will storm their family home, prompting the boys' hurried escape from the city with their parents, grandmother, and 2 cousins. Not all will survive. Their immediate destination is Paris and the townhouse of Hermina, their great aunt, once a renowned opera singer, now a recluse who wears long gloves to preserve her dignity against a past scarred by an unspeakable violence. This sounds fantastic. Again, another piece of history that I'm not super well versed in. I know a lot about World War II era. This is just post World War II and Russian invasion. So this is an area where I'm a little bit fuzzy. And so I'm really looking forward to getting into this. This sounds fantastic. This was not a book that was on my radar. It was just one that I found in a little free library and sounded really interesting. So, and then finally, the last book on this little free library haul is a book that I almost cried when I saw it in a little free library. This is a book I have been dying to read. Like, it's probably in the top 3 books that I have wanted to read for such a long time. And honestly, like, I was this close to just like breaking down and going and buying it somewhere, but I keep finding paperback versions and I would like a hardcover edition to add to my bookshelves. This is a book that I hear rave reviews about pretty exclusively, and I also hear is like one of the weirdest books that people have read. That is Tender is the Flesh by Agostina Basterica. And this is a book that was originally written in Spanish. It's from Argentina, and it is about a dystopian world where people consume human flesh. Working at the local processing plant, Marcos is in the business of slaughtering humans, though no one calls them that anymore. His wife has left him, his father is sinking into dementia, and Marcos tries not to think too hard about how he makes a living. After all, it happened so quickly. First, it was reported that an infectious virus has made all animal meat poisonous to humans. Then governments initiated the transition. Now eating human meat, or special meat, is legal. Marcos tries to stick to numbers, consignments, processing. Then one day he's given a gift, a live specimen of the finest quality. Though he's aware that any form of personal contact is forbidden on pain of death, little by little he starts to treat her like a human being. And soon he becomes tortured by what has been lost and what might still be saved. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am. This is one of my most anticipated reads. And to find it in a little free library and to find a nice copy, like, this is pristine, guys. There's no torn up edges, no bent pages. This is like, I walked into a bookstore and bought it. I cannot wait, like, at all. Like, this will probably be the first thing that I read from this entire, like, all 4 videos about this trip. So those are all of the books from this little free library haul. If you didn't see part 1 to this video, have a look up here. That is a fun video as well. And I got a few books in that video as well. So that is the end of this particular video. But if you want the fun to continue, make sure that you check out my playlist from this trip. I have 2 videos about the indie bookstores that I visited in Arizona and in New Mexico. I also have part 1 to this video where I visited some other little free libraries and I show off the books that I got in that part of the video. And then I have a video with a gentleman in the Albuquerque area who custom builds the coolest little free libraries. You can see some of the little free libraries of his that I found throughout the city, and then you can see his creative process and hear a little bit about his experiences building little free libraries. It was so much fun. So please make sure you check out all the videos in that playlist if you're interested in the travel and the indie bookstores and just seeing some different parts and learning about a different part of the world. This was seriously so much fun, and I cannot wait to plan my next bookish trip with my mom. So that being said, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know what you thought of my little free library finds. Did I find any gems, any treasures, any of these books that you've read? Let me know how you felt about them, whether you loved them or hated them. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell so that you never miss a video, and that way we can see each other again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.